There are only a few countries in the world that have never been involved in war, such as Vatican City, Vanuatu, and San Marino. Meanwhile, the only continent that is fully protected for the purpose of peace and science is Antarctica. The Antarctic Treaty System, ATS, which came into force on June 23, 1961, prohibits any military activity or resource extraction on the continent. This means that Antarctica does not belong to any one country, but is regarded as a shared international space for scientific research for the benefit of all humankind. However, this frozen land, with no permanent human settlements, has now become a target for competition, with several countries vying to dominate or claim parts of it for their own interests. So in this video, we're going to look at why Antarctica is becoming so highly contested. Antarctica covers an area of about 14.2 million square kilometers, making it the fifth largest continent after Asia, Africa, North America, and South America. Yet it has the smallest human population of all. Antarctica is the highest continent above sea level, as it is covered by a very thick ice sheet averaging 2 kilometers in depth. Scientists estimate this ice sheet has existed for over 40 million years. It is the driest, coldest, and windiest place on Earth. Due to its extremely low annual precipitation, about 50 millimeters per year in the form of snow or ice crystals, Antarctica is actually a frozen desert, nearly twice the size of the Sahara. Generally, Antarctica is inhabited only by scientists and researchers for limited periods. Around 98% of its land is covered in ice year-round, even though it experiences summer for 6 months. The average yearly temperature is around minus 57 degrees Celsius and can drop to as low as minus 90 degrees Celsius during the winter. Coastal areas are warmer, with summer temperatures ranging between minus 2 degrees Celsius and 8 degrees Celsius. This continent is rich in raw materials like iron, coal, uranium, lead, copper, tin, gold, silver, oil, gas, and more. In fact, Unilever has long used bacteria from Antarctic lakes commercially as antifreeze to soften ice cream. Antarctica is also home to unique plants and animals found nowhere else on Earth. Strategically, the continent is highly significant in terms of transportation, as it is surrounded by the Southern Ocean, which connects to 3 major oceans in the Pacific, Atlantic, and Indian Oceans. Territorial claims on Antarctica. Recent studies suggest that Polynesian sailors may have reached Antarctica as early as 1,100 years before Western explorers did. Western records state that Fabian Gottlieb Thaddeus von Bellingshausen first sighted Antarctica in 1820, and it remains the only continent without indigenous people. Following its discovery, several countries began making territorial claims, which sparked international tension. At the start of the Cold War, the US and the Soviet Union openly expressed their desire to control the continent, viewing it as a potential strategic military base. The question of who owns Antarctica has been a source of international dispute for decades. Australia has made the largest claim, covering 42% of the continent. Each claimant nation has cited various reasons to justify their claims, including early exploration, continuous research presence, geographic proximity, or geological connection. However, unilateral claims over uninhabited land have led to widespread dissatisfaction. Disputes have also arisen between Argentina, Chile, and the United Kingdom over overlapping claims. On December 1, 1959, 12 countries – Argentina, Australia, Belgium, Chile, France, the United Kingdom, Japan, New Zealand, Norway, South Africa, the United States, and the Soviet Union – signed the Antarctic Treaty in Washington, an unprecedented international agreement to jointly govern a continent for peace and scientific research. Interestingly, in the 1970s and 80s, Argentina and Chile sent pregnant women to Antarctica to give birth there, as a way to strengthen their territorial claims. According to the International Antarctic Center, as of 2024, there have been 11 recorded births in Antarctica. Today, 58 countries have signed the Antarctic Treaty and participate in the annual Antarctic Treaty Consultative Meeting, where decisions are made on how human activities on the continent should be managed. The Antarctic Treaty system has since expanded to include strict guidelines on commercial fishing, seal hunting, and a total ban on mining and mineral exploration. Even though the treaty prohibits any territorial claims, some countries believe that maintaining a constant presence in Antarctica will strengthen their claims, especially since the treaty is scheduled for review in 2048. The race to develop Antarctica. Currently, many nations are racing to establish the largest presence in Antarctica, a continent believed to hold the world's largest oil reserves and rare minerals, as well as offering strategic military advantages. Of the 58 countries that signed the treaty, 30 have established research stations, 12 have made territorial claims, and 7 are actively racing to build infrastructure on the continent. Antarctica has gained renewed attention in recent years after Russia announced the discovery of what could be the largest oil reserve on the planet. Estimated at 511 billion barrels, nearly double Saudi Arabia's proven oil and gas reserves. The truth is, any pollution from oil drilling in Antarctica would cause massive ecological damage, not just locally, but globally. Countries like Argentina, Australia, Chile, and the United Kingdom have long-standing territorial claims, while others such as China and Russia are expanding their influence through research stations and logistics support, ignoring the fact that the continent is meant to be a scientific conservation zone free of military activity. With temperatures dropping to minus 89 degrees Celsius and winds reaching 320 kilometers per hour, building infrastructure in Antarctica is an enormous challenge. Yet that hasn't stopped countries like Russia, the United States, China, and even Brazil from reinforcing their presence. The U.S. Antarctic program has 3 year-round research stations and 2 research vessels. Built in 1955, McMurdo Station is the largest scientific research facility in Antarctica, a small settlement consisting of about 85 buildings. Construction in Antarctica requires logistical and technological operations on an unprecedented scale. One such project, the UK's Discovery Building, is being built under extreme conditions at a cost of $372 million and is scheduled for completion in 2025. Infrastructure development in Antarctica is a strategic tool, a way to determine which countries will gain access to the world's largest oil reserves in the future. Advanced robots and drones are now used to scan beneath the ice sheets, exploring ocean depths and monitoring glaciers, opening the door to resource extraction that should be off-limits. China has already deployed underwater drones in the South China Sea to search for natural gas hydrates and metal nodules, making deep-sea mining a likely major industry in the decades to come. Previously, Australia had planned to build the first concrete runway in Antarctica, stretching 2.7 kilometers. However, the project was cancelled due to cost and environmental concerns. Had it gone ahead, it would have marked Australia's largest footprint on the continent. Today, Australia still maintains 3 permanent bases in Antarctica. On February 2, 2023, China announced plans to build a new satellite station near its Zhongshan research camp in Antarctica. This station is intended to improve China's remote sensing and data collection capabilities, and also expand its growing space research network from Antarctica to South America. However, research stations like these could easily be repurposed for military use, potentially turning Antarctica into a new battleground for great power competition in today's multipolar world. China established its first Antarctic base, the Great Wall Station, on King George Island in 1985 and now operates 4 research stations. Russia's military presence in Antarctica is even more pronounced, with about 10 research stations. The Russian Navy also conducts hydrographic research in the area, useful for submarine navigation. Russian Antarctic stations are also involved in space research for state-owned aerospace company Roscosmos. Several satellite transmitters and Global Navigation Satellite System (GLONASS) stations have been set up in Antarctica. These can be used to track missiles and improve command and control capabilities. The recently reopened Ruskaya station has raised concerns among analysts, as it could serve as a base for electronic warfare and anti-satellite systems. In conclusion, Antarctica holds immense global importance, as any human activity in the region could impact countries from the Southern Hemisphere all the way to the Arctic Circle. With all the development taking place, it's not unthinkable that by 2048, due to human greed, the ban on mineral extraction in Antarctica might be completely removed, ushering in a very different future for humanity. As science and technology advance and geopolitical tensions rise, Antarctica is poised to become one of the biggest challenges for international cooperation in the decades ahead.